Welcome, everybody, to the You Are Worthy Network. I am your host, Steve Wormer, and I am thrilled to be with you this Friday afternoon. And I'm excited to introduce you to our special guest here momentarily. But I do want to, before I do that, I do want to thank all of you, all 15,000 plus of you, for being in this group. Whether you watch an interview here or there, whether you watch them consistently, whether this is your first one, I just want to thank you because I want to articulate what this group is because I have a feeling that the name resonated with you. And so you knew somebody that invited you in and you trusted them, and then you saw this name and you're like, that kind of sits well with me. I want to know more. So, in short, I'll try to be short. I am a preacher, so no promises. Um, it was created out of my own stinking mindset, just to be honest with you. I done some deep mindset work the last couple of years, and this word unworthy kept popping up. And I knew it wasn't true. The problem was I knew it wasn't true here. It hadn't gotten to my heart yet. And so as I started to have victories in my mindset, not perfection, by the way, nobody's perfect at mindset. I said, I want to do something to encourage folks because I started to see limited thinking, imposter syndrome, lack of self-worth and self-love everywhere. And I said, I'm going to create this network as a antithesis to my own mindset. And it is, we are worthy of love, respect, and success. And I'll even tell you why. We're worthy because of the blood of Jesus. How about that? We're worthy because of the blood of Jesus, not on our own, but that's another subject for another day. I just want to remind you, and I'll probably do this at the end of the show too, that wherever you're at on your journey, good, bad, in the middle, it's just a chapter. And your chapter's not over yet. Your story's not done yet. And some of the most exciting chapters are still to come. So that's what I wanted to share with you. That's a little taste of what we're about. But we're all about the guest also. And we love showcasing entrepreneurs and leaders and people with incredible stories. And that's what we're going to do today. So, Emily Green is a TEDx and keynote speaker, a visibility strategist, and an entrepreneur who built, scaled, and sold a national marketing agency. She is the founder of the Love Means Business ecosystem, which includes a podcast, coaching practice, speaker support and referral community, and the Thought Leadership Program, designed to help purpose driven professionals amplify their voice and impact. Emily is passionate about helping others turn their stories into platforms for growth, connection, and meaningful change. I'm excited to ask questions, but first of all, welcome, Emily, to the You Are Worthy Network.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. It's our honor to have you. What I say all the time is it's such a blessing to have 15,000 people watching. And as I start to kind of view where they're from, it's like, oh my gosh, they're coming from outside the states now,
Hmm.
which is cool, right? I'm looking forward to interviewing some people out of the states too.
Yeah, that's
But tell
exciting.
us, it is exciting for sure. Tell us where you're from.
Originally, I'm from Missouri, from the St. Louis, Missouri area, but now I live in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. So, South, I'm in the South now.
You are in the South. You are in
Yeah.
sweet tea country.
Yeah, I don't really like sweet tea though.
Yeah, it's got a lot of sugar in it for sure.
I know it gives
But
me the sugar shakes and I feel like good for about a minute and then I just like crash and it's not fun. So,
no, I don't think I knew you were from St. Louis, so I don't remember discussing that. I lived in
yes.
Kansas City for a few years, so that's cool.
Yeah, from the Lou. So any other STL people, hit me up. We probably all love Nelly and the Cardinals. So
Yeah, huge Cardinal country, that's for sure, right there in the backyard.
yeah.
Um, Tell us a little bit about your family. Who do you do life with?
Yeah, so I'm married. I've been married a little over 4 years. I have a daughter named Rose. And then I'm also very passionate about animals. So we currently have two cats and two dogs. My dream one day we'll have a little farm. We're gonna get some land and have lots and lots of animals with no HOA restrictions. So that is one of my dreams.
Well, well, give us a little sneak peek. So what kind of animals will we have on this farm?
Definitely chickens. I love chickens. We used to have them during COVID. We lived at a place where we could have them. We went a little overboard in the space that we had. So as can happen with chickens, it's not just us. A lot of people say that you get one and then two, and it's like, oh my God, we have 30. How did this happen? But definitely that, and then probably some horses, maybe some goats, some cows. Your typical like farm. So.
Have you had land before?
Yeah, I was raised in the country, so my parents still live on 30 acres of land in a log cabin. We did not have like farm animals, but we always had big gardens, and I actually made my own hiking trails as a kid, and like literally would go out and be like, here, this is gonna be my trail, and I would like make the trail in the woods. So literally a trailblazer. That's kind of cool. I didn't think about that till just now. Um, but yeah, so I mean that's how I grew up, and that's how I relax now. I find that I get the most peace and I recharge in nature. So
You need to add that trailblazer to your bio.
yeah, I guess so. I guess I could. I really actually have made my own trails, literally.
And your mom's place is making me jealous. A log cabin on 30 acres. I'm like, I want
It's
to go visit
really
there.
pretty. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about 45 minutes to an hour south of St. Louis, which if people are familiar with that area, it's kind of like the foothills of the Ozarks, and it's super pretty. So
Okay. Well, okay. Now I'm going to chase that rabbit. So, like Cape Girardeau, Sykeston, or further
Cape Girardeau
in.
would be too far. That's more like 2.5 hours south of St. Louis. So this is like 45 minutes ish. But it's like DeSoto, Missouri. No one's gonna know where that is unless you're from there. There's like 6,000 people that live in DeSoto, but it's
Okay.
beautiful. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous there. And honestly, it doesn't look that much different than parts of the Charlotte area especially when you get a little outside into like Gastonia and like Kings Mountain. Those areas look very similar to the Ozark areas in Missouri. So I'm like, no wonder I feel at home here.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's parts of the Midwest when you get outside the major cities, very rural, very
Very
pretty
rural. Yeah.
for sure. Okay, so what do you guys like to do for fun when you create the time to do so?
Yeah, I mean, my husband and I have very different hobbies. My husband has all the hobbies, meaning he is a certified racing instructor, like he drives cars, he plays music, like he can play the guitar really well and a bunch of instruments.
Wow.
Yeah, he does art. He does a lot. The only thing we have in common hobby-wise is we play some video games together. So we will game together and we also lift weights together. So sometimes we'll work out the same. But other than that, we kind of like to do our own thing. So I'm more like outdoorsy and he likes to do his stuff, all his stuff. And I support him. I love watching him race and sometimes I get to ride along with him, which is terrifying, but also kind of cool.
Yeah, you got me thinking when you were saying, yeah, we don't, we game and
Yeah.
what was the other thing you said you did together?
We lift weights together
Lift
too.
weights.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I can't get him to run or walk really with me, but we will lift together and he pushes me hard with that. So
It's good. I like that. So let's have a little fun, or at least that's the goal. Let's get in the time machine and let's take you back a few years to your senior year in high school.
okay.
High school seniors, sometimes 17, sometimes 18, um, all over the place in terms of goals, in terms of maturity, in terms of
Yeah.
mindset. That's why it's fun to do it. Uh, where were you? Let's say there's only a week before graduation.
Yeah.
Certainly, you've got the cap and the gown. Maybe you have a class ring. You're certainly, I would imagine, Xing the dates off as they go by. You got the big dates circled. Maybe you are in charge of getting the beach ball to start that off in the ceremony. You know, what was your thoughts? Like you senioritis to the max? Can't wait to get out of here. I've already got a job. I'm going to do this job this summer. I know what I'm going to do in the fall. I've got a plan. The world is mine. Get me out of here. Or, huh, I'm going to miss this place. I don't know if I want to leave. I guess I better get a job. I don't know what I'm going to do. Not that that's wrong. I'm just saying we're all over the place at that age. I'm just trying to get an idea where you were.
Yeah, my high school experience was a little unusual, meaning that my freshman year, I was in one high school and then I was put into a private high school. And then I actually didn't graduate from a in-person school. My parents took me out of that school and I was basically put in college early. I don't know how else to explain it. And I did get my diploma through an accredited virtual school, but I ended up having like 30 hours of college credit before I graduated high school. So I was taking like 13 hours at the local college my senior year. So honestly, I didn't really have
Mm.
the normal, I didn't have all of that. So, um, mine's a little bit different, but I feel like I did get a leg up going into college because I'd already done it kind of my senior year. And I also got a lot more time to practice running and all of that because I ran Division I track and cross country in college my freshman year. So, that senior year, I was just extremely nervous to be able to like rise to the challenge of going from being pretty good in high school to having to compete at a D1 level is pretty scary. So that was my main focus of just trying to get my times down, trying to make sure I could do that. And also, I got a full academic scholarship. So I was like, I got to keep my grades, here. And I also need to make sure I can keep my running here. So I was not very much fun. I have become a lot more fun, but people that knew me in high school are like, how are you the same person? You are so not fun. Because I was so focused and so worried about just like getting A's and running really fast and all that stuff.
Okay, I like this though. You wouldn't know it by my age, and so this was several ages and several pounds ago. But I too was a long distance runner. I ran the mile and the 2 mile in track, and I ran cross country as well. So where did you go to D1?
Southeast Missouri State University in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. So when you said Cape
Ah,
Girardeau, I was like,
you know
yeah,
exactly where it
I
was.
did know
Yep.
where that is.
That's very cool. So what was your specialty?
Well, cross country, we had to do five, it was like, I think 5K except for um at the end, like towards nationals. Then I think we did an 8K, went up a little bit. And then track, I did 3K, 5K, 10K. I was best at the 10K. So I actually did pretty well with that. So I was the one that would just keep running. I was really good at pacing. I was never like super fast, but I could hold a pace like nobody else. So
Yeah, no, totally like that. Did you ever run a half marathon or marathon?
since then I have. I've done several half marathons and one full marathon.
Wow, I'm impressed. I did a half when I was 16 and I never did a marathon, but kudos to you. That's awesome.
Thanks. I don't think I'll ever do another full marathon if I'm being honest. So it was not fun. I mean, I can see if I trained a little bit more, it would have been, but I was talked into it the last minute by a friend. We were training for a half together and she was going to do the full Chicago marathon with her boyfriend. Well, they broke up like a couple weeks before and she's like, "Do you want to go and, fill in for him?" And you'll learn something about me. I have trouble turning down a challenge. And I was like, oh, sure, I'll do it. Not thinking like it's a lot different going from half to a full. So it was hard for sure.
I have no regrets. That half was probably the best run I ever had. I got stronger as it went on, and I was like, you know what? No disrespect to those people that have done marathons. Mad respect. But I'm like,
Right.
yeah, no, I'm good. I don't-
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, that's awesome. So what did you study at school?
My undergrad, I got a business degree. and I got a general studies degree. So I had two undergrads. The general studies is a funny story because I did not realize I got that degree till my graduation day. And I saw that I had two degrees. And my mom still makes fun of me about that. She's like, how can you be so smart to get two degrees and not know that you got two degrees? But it was at the time, I don't know if they still do it, but the NCAA, you had to be general studies your first year or something. And I just never undeclared that major. And then I declared another major. And I had, remember, all those credits from high school. And I had enough just random stuff that I had taken because I have a lot of interests that it made a general studies degree too. So, yeah, so I have two undergrads and I have a master's degree in advertising and marketing communications. So,
Okay. So did you use it right away?
I didn't get a master's till later, but no, I would say no and yes. I ended up getting into my family's business right out of college, and I coached high school track for 2 years on the side.
Mm.
So I did that for the first 2 years out, and then after that, I got into kind of corporate like manager roles. And once I did that, then I finally went back and got my master's. And when I started my master's is when I got my first marketing role with Simon Property Group, and that really catapulted me to where I am now, for sure.
So how long did you do marketing?
In college, or what do you mean?
Just overall. Like how many years experience did you have with that?
I mean, I'm still in marketing technically. Yeah. So it's ongoing. I mean, if you look on LinkedIn, it'd be, 20 or 2010 to now, so it's probably 16 plus years. Yeah. So I don't know if I'll ever not be in marketing. Yeah.
Yeah, what I want to do is establish when, sorry, I wasn't clear. I want to establish when you left corporate marketing and got into business for yourself. I apologize.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, um, I my last corporate job, and I'm actually, spoiler alert, I have a corporate job again. So, yeah, so I actually am a month
Okay.
in, but I still have my own business too. But my first foray into entrepreneurship from corporate was in 2018. And it was because my current position then got eliminated. So they actually spent 5 months recruiting me and then 8 months in eliminated the entire position. And I
Mm.
just thought, why would you spend that much time and effort to get somebody in this role, get me in this role, and then just say, we give up, we're not ready for this position. So that was pretty crazy. And I think that
Mm.
burned me enough that I was like, I'm doing my own thing for a while. At the same time, I met my now husband. So it was like these two things happened at the exact same time. And it ended up that I was not relocatable enough anymore because of him and the whole custody situation with our daughter. So it's my stepdaughter, but I don't like to say that because she calls me mom and all of that. So I always joke that he made me stuck here in Charlotte. So I was like, what am I going to do now that I can't relocate? And I had a bunch of people say, why don't you do your own thing? You've always been really creative. You've always kind of been a trailblazer, like, why don't you do your own thing? And so I did. So I opened Grace Communications. That was my first business of my own. And I focused on PR, events, social media. I grew that into 10 different states in under 6 years. And I sold it in 2024 to an international buyer. And so then after that, took all of that and infused it into Love Means Business, which is my current business that I own. And in that ecosystem you talked about in my intro, which you said perfectly, but it really is meant to help thought leaders use their voice for impact with every single part of it. And now my current corporate role that I said yes to, and I think a lot of people are surprised to hear that I would do that, is amazing. It's with an amazing company that truly is making an impact with animals and in the pet space that I've known for over 6 years. So I'm able to really make a difference with my skill set in that area too. So lots of exciting things.
Okay, awesome. So, okay, what are you doing for the new corporate job and is it full time?
It is full time. Yeah. So I am their PR person. So
Okay.
they needed an internal communications PR, person to just come in and be able to represent and help them across their whole portfolio of brands. And so it was a way for me to take all the experience I had with my agency. And again, I've known the founder for over 6 years. And we had been connected, but never could quite find a way to work together until now. So it was kind of just, it happens when it's supposed to.
This is interesting because I'm reading your facial expressions as you're talking about it, and I think it's fair to say most entrepreneurs that have experienced the freedom and the challenges that come with that,
Yeah.
when they get back into corporate, it's a have to situation, and they feel like they've been handcuffed again. But this seems to light you up. So it sounds like you've got the best of both worlds going on right now.
I would never have done anything like that. I wouldn't put myself in a have to position. Like I just would never do that based off of my previous experience that I told you about. This is something that I've again been connected for over 6 years with the founder. I've watched them grow. They're super entrepreneurial and I love animals, if you couldn't tell. I'm like obsessed with animals. So any chance I have, and even my agency, when I had that, we had a niche with pet related businesses. So I light up when I get to work with anyone or anything that is directly impacting, animals and helping people live their lives a little bit better because of animals. So yeah, and it's nice because, I can still have Love Means Business too. So yeah, it is kind of the best of both worlds. Do I work a lot? Yeah, but I'm kind of crazy. I like to work a lot. I don't really like to sleep. So it works for me.
And her dog is at her feet right now, by the way, I
Yeah,
believe. Is that
she
right?
moved and now I have two cats. Two cats are like fighting over the light. They're probably about to knock it over, so we'll see.
Oh, goodness gracious. So, okay, you like to work a lot. So that does go to my next question. So, when do you devote towards Love Means Business?
Yeah, the cool thing about what I've built with Love Means Business is it kind of runs itself. It's membership based with the community. So a lot of the events and all of that are at lunchtime or they're on the weekends because the people that are in the community also have their own businesses or jobs or both, and they need me to be flexible around that. So now I can kind of relate to a lot of the members more even, which has been interesting. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I just work it in when I can, and I have help. I have volunteers that help me, and I've got someone about to bring on as an actual position for the community that's going to take over a lot of it. And yeah, so I just work it in around. But I've never been one to just do one thing. Even when I was at corporate before, when I was at Simon, I did commercials on the side. I did freelancing. I've never had just one. I've always had a lot of things. So, like, my husband collects hobbies. I collect work. I love working. So, I love doing a lot of things. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love the name of the business. Love Means Business. And I know we read a little bit about it in the bio, but why don't you tell us more the heart behind it and who it helps exactly?
Yeah, the heart behind the name, it stemmed from my TEDx talk, which was called The Weaponization of Love. And that talk was the first time that I got super vulnerable about a defining moment in my life that kind of changed everything and really helped me understand like the power of being vulnerable, the power of how that can connect. And also kind of was when I realized I needed to sell my first business because I was so much more passionate about speaking and some of these other things. And I knew I couldn't do both at the time. Um, so the weaponization of love, although I love that name, I thought it was a great title for my TEDx talk.
It
It
is.
scares some people. They're like, weapons? Are you shooting people? Like, is there knives? Like, what is happening? Why would you put weapon in that? So I thought, how can I come up with a less scary name, but also that had legs to it that I could expand beyond, like, could be anything, all the things. And I was running, literally, I get my best ideas when I run. So I'll say I'm going to run on it. And I was like, well, love really means business, right? And I thought, wait a second, that's a really good name. That'd be a great name for a podcast. And so I started with my podcast, and really the thought behind it is that everything that I do, including the guests I have on, the work in the community, the things I talk about, the coaching, all of it's helping people do what they love professionally a little bit more, and also showing the correlation between the things you love and the people you love and all of that, how that inspires you your personal things that you love and your personal life inspire you professionally. So love is infused in everything that we do, especially in what we're passionate about professionally.
I hope it wasn't a long run that day where you had to like say it to yourself thousands of
No,
times on the way.
no, people think I'm crazy probably. I get my best ideas when I'm running and I probably talk to myself. I don't know. My husband's like, you do talk to yourself sometimes. I'm like, hey, it's my creative process. Let it be. So
You're a business owner. You get your best ideas that way, and you can have staff meetings all at the same time.
I know I don't answer myself usually, so we're good.
That's okay. That's okay. You might get some great answers that way.
Yeah.
Now that's awesome. So, when do you have time right now to do public speaking?
That I'm being very selective about. So the public speaking that I'm booking at this point, it has to be worth my time, number one. So I'm not doing really any free stuff anymore unless I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so passionate about it. Um, or I do it, I can do things virtually around, and a lot of the stuff I did was virtually anyway. Or,
Mhm.
you can take time off. People don't like to do that, but you can take time off if you really want to do something. And for me, this is what I love. So if it's worth it, I will do that to be able to speak.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that Love Means Business does too, right? Like I know um, that I'm connected because of our introduction. I was able to interview one of your clients a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah,
and an amazing person, amazing interview. So thank you for that, first of all.
of course.
Um, but I know she's done some public speaking and generated uh, off of referrals that you gave her, correct? So that's one of the services you provide.
Yeah, inside the community, every single day we post 3 to 5 times, and we post of those 3 to 5 things are public speaking opportunities, paid and unpaid, but special focus on paid because I think we all deserve to be paid for our time.
Come on.
Podcast appearances and media. So one of the big benefits, if you're a member, is to be able to have access to that and then actually apply and hopefully get booked. And people are getting booked every day. I get text messages from people. What I really love is when they send me a text and it's like them and another community member that are both speaking at the same event that they got booked for from something that was posted. And they like meet for the first time at the conference is it's pretty neat.
That's so cool. So tell us who would be talk to who might be a potential client for you. Is it someone that's looking for a breakthrough? Is it someone looking for more speaking gigs? Is it somebody looking for more community and support? A little bit of all of that. Tell us who you really want in your network.
I think it's a little bit of all of that. My speaker community is my favorite thing that I do. It's just so much fun, and it's been the most successful thing I've done since I launched my new business. But I think the best fit for that community is number one, you have to be a heart-centered leader. What I mean by that is that you're trying to make an impact with your voice. Yes, you need to make an income too. I think income, impact go together, but it's not the right space if you're getting into speaking because you saw somebody making 10,000 a pop and you think that could be you and you think it's going to be super easy and that's really your only reasoning. Not a good fit. But if you're someone
Mhm.
who's very passionate about something or many things that you just like, I have to tell the world about this, I want to help people with it, and or maybe it's even a way to help you with the business that you're really passionate about. You want to grow that with speaking. It's a great community for that because it's going to help you find leads. You're going to be able to find a lot of amazing collaborators that you can do projects with and hopefully grow together. And we also do 2 virtual events a month. And those are very educational and also have networking. So you're able to meet each other, learn. It's my 3 testaments are love, learning, leveling up. So those 3 things are in all of
I got to write that down. Love,
it.
learn, and
Yes.
leveling up.
Keep loving, keep learning, keep leveling up. It's how I sign off every podcast and every single event for the community,
Wow.
not
I,
just in general.
I love that. And you, right in the flow of your answer, I was going to ask you if there was a networking component to the two
Yeah.
times a month, and you said there was. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's been really fun to see. We do guided networking in the Community Connections monthly event. And I love guided networking because it takes the awkwardness out of it. So we have prompts and we do like breakout rooms. So we assign people so that they can meet different people each time. And you have like a prompted thing for every session so that you have at least a focus to start talking, which is nice.
Okay, nice. So I have a question, and I don't recall us talking about it before, and I don't remember reading it in your bio. Is there a book on the horizon?
I get asked this so much.
I bet you do.
I will write a book someday. My issue with writing a book right now, what I want to write about versus what I think I should write about are not quite the same. And people want me to write more about what my TEDx talk was about, some of the stuff I talk about with people on the podcast, without getting too deep here because we're having a fun conversation. Writing a book about that would require me to dive more into some traumatic stuff that I just don't want to right now. And so eventually I will, but I haven't figured out a way to do it that wouldn't betray privacy and I just haven't quite figured out a way to do that that I feel like matches my vibe. So yeah.
Far be it from me to advise, but that one doesn't have to be your first one.
I think that probably won't be. Yeah, I have so many things I could write about. Some of the talks I've done would make really good books, but that's the one most people are like, we want to know more. You kind of like teased us in the TEDx talk, but you should
Eh,
write like a whole book. And I'm like, oh, it could be a
eh.
whole Netflix series. It wouldn't just be a book. Um, So I will write a book. It's on my list of things to do. It's a bucket list thing that will happen. Um, but we're also in the process of adopting, and we've got a lot of stuff going on that is taking up some time. So
I totally get it. And
yeah.
it was just a natural question to ask.
Oh, it'll happen. It's gonna happen.
I'll tell you a quick story. Um, I had a coach, well, my first coach, I had him for several years. He knew I wanted to write a book, and he knew I had an outline for one. And by the way, it was based on the adoption of our children. So we need to talk.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because
Yeah, we
I
do.
didn't know that. And it's an incredible story. That's why I had an outline for it. I'm like, I'm going to forget this stuff if I don't write it down.
Yeah.
But I went into a coaching session with him on Zoom one day, and I don't know why. He asked me. I mean, I haven't even been. He had never coached me on writing. It's just something I told him because we'd become friends. He said, "When are we going to write that book, Steve?" And I literally told him, "I'm not paying you today to talk about that book, so let's move on." Just didn't want. I mean, I could talk to him that way because we were close, but like we went on. I don't even know what we coached about that day, but got off that call and I sat down and I started writing that book, and I was done in 3 weeks. So when it comes, it'll come. You'll know when it's time.
Awesome.
Now
Yeah.
had a lot to learn about editing and
Yeah.
publishing and all that. That's all another story. But it comes when it's supposed to come. So don't even.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um. Tell folks where they can learn more about Love Means Business and where they can learn more about you and the incredible work you're doing in general.
Well, not in a book right now. So you won't find it
Yeah,
in a
right.
book. So
Right.
sorry. You can go to lovemeansbusiness.com. That's my website. You can find all the information about the podcast community, all the things there. Also, if you want to follow me on social media, I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. You can go to Emily Green and find me. There's a lot of Emily Greens, but you'll probably find me if you search for that, or Love Means Business there on Instagram or LinkedIn.
We'll put all that in the show notes too, because Emily's already provided me with those links. Um, what's the shorter version for you? Because it does sound like there is a longer version that we won't go too deep into. But what's What's the shorter version of a time when you didn't feel worthy of love, respect, or success?
I think the short version is the moment when I talk about in my TEDx talk where I had to leave this very toxic relationship. And in less than 24 hours, I lost my home, my job, my car, and my family at the time. And so I was essentially like homeless. Um, and so I felt about as low as someone can. And of course, this is someone that I just told you I graduated with 2 degrees early. I didn't even say that. I graduated in 3.5 years with 2 undergraduate degrees. Like I was a high achiever to go from that to just feeling like I lost everything and I didn't know how the heck I was going to be okay. That was when I felt probably the lowest. But it's funny, if that's how I felt in that moment. Now, when I look back on that moment, that was actually the first time, probably in almost my entire life, that I was finally saying to myself, "You are worthy to leave. You can leave." And that was the first moment I finally took a step to freedom. And if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be here now. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So, uh,
Wow.
yeah.
And you didn't have children in that relationship, right?
No, it was my family. It was my
I
my
see.
yeah, my family.
Your family of
Yeah.
origin. Okay. Wow,
Yeah.
that goodness. Wow, I am so sorry that that
It's
happened.
okay.
However, I also know it's likely made you the stronger person that you are today.
It definitely has, and I see people differently. I think I have more empathy than a lot of people do, and I also think it's given me a blind confidence that I can. Well, I don't know. People have felt like they're like, "Aren't you scared to do that or this or that?" And I'm like, "I am. I'm scared to do it, but nothing will hurt me or be more scary than what I did that day, and then what happened, right after that, and all the things that I had to go through." So, nothing will break my heart more than that. Nothing will be harder. So once you've been through something like that, and you are able to overcome it and learn from it, and it gives you a crazy confidence. It just does. How could it not?
Yeah, wow. Maybe this is cheesy to say, but you continue lifting those weights to get strong on the outside, but man, you've got some strong muscles on the inside after that, right?
Yeah, yeah, but it has taken a while. If you had talked to me when I was 23, like right after I left and all that, I would have not been, it wouldn't have been like this. I would have some
Yeah.
emotional mess, and it took a really long time for me to just be able to talk about it and not be angry and not be all the things and to look on it like I do now, which is honestly, it was the probably the best moment of my life because if I hadn't left, I wouldn't have what I have now. So
Yeah, healing takes time, and
it does.
you're speaking now from a place of scars and
Yeah.
blessings rather than an open wound, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. It takes a lot of time for certain things, but I think we all what's been interesting is since I shared a little bit of that in my TEDx, I've had so many people connect with me that
uh,
have similar stories. They think it's an ex-husband or they think it's something else, which is fine. I wanted it to be applicable to a lot of relationships. But it happens so much more than we think. People go through this kind of stuff so much more than we think. So it's kind of nice to know that, I guess.
yeah. Well, and speaking of your TEDx, would you be willing to drop the link to that in the comments of the interview?
Uh,
You don't have
yeah,
to do it now. But
I can try. Yeah.
we,
Yeah, I can. I
yeah,
can on Facebook after. I was like thinking technologically how to do that.
he,
Absolutely. Yes,
it
I
it,
can.
wa- it was a more of a are you willing to share it with us
Oh
question.
yeah. I mean, it's out there. Everyone can see it anyway. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I would love to share it and I would love to hear from people that maybe they're like, "Hey, this I have a similar story. Like this really I relate to this." And I talk about stuff like this on my podcast too. So if you relate to the TEDx talk, you might really get a lot out of my podcast too.
Tell us more about the podcast.
It's called Love Means Business. The first season we focused on stories of dark love and how to overcome that and how you learned from that and use the lessons for you, in your professional life. Season two, I wanted a little bit of a lighter approach. So it's
Yeah.
not about dark love, but it is still exploring how love has influenced people in their professional lives. So not all romantic love. Love has so many forms. It can be a love that you had for, a certain like thing that you did, like singing or sports. It can be a love for a family member or friend. So there's a lot of forms of love we explore, but a lot of really cool stories about how that's influenced what they do.
I love that. How often do you have an episode?
Once a month.
Once a month. Okay. As busy as you are, that's probably enough.
Yeah, I don't know how people do like what you do. I couldn't do that. I have struggled with doing one a month, so
It's a lot of work for sure.
yeah, it definitely is.
That's awesome. So what's next?
What's next for me, like in life? I mean, I guess my biggest next thing would be adopting. We're really excited about that. So we're in the middle of that process um, and just continuing to grow and help people. So I love helping people get booked and shine and be seen and heard and psychologically you can analyze me with that and say it's because I didn't have a voice. I wasn't allowed to have a voice very much until I left at 23,
Mm,
and so now I get to help other people express their voice, and that has been healing for me. Every time I help someone use their voice for good, I get healed a little bit more.
wow, that's awesome. What a great thing to say. So what words of encouragement would you leave our viewers with today? Maybe the person that's stuck needs a little shot of hope, needs some encouragement that things will get better. What would you say to them today?
They will probably only get better if you take action. Don't wait. You can wait your whole life away. And I'm not saying you should always just leave, but definitely don't wait around for someone or something else to save you or help you. And I do believe in a higher power and faith and all of that, but you need to take action. Like if you're in a situation where you're not being treated right and there's abuse or there's certain things holding you back, no one else is going to do it for you, and there will not be a perfect time. So make sure that you don't keep waiting. Yeah.
Wise words, Emily. I want to thank you for sharing vulnerably today,
Of
for
course.
your heart for business, but even more your heart for people, because that's at the core of it, obviously.
Yeah.
It has come shining through today, and I just want to thank you for sharing with us.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Guys, I just want to encourage you. See, you just heard another example in Emily's story, even though you'd have to listen to the TEDx and the book possibly one day to learn more, but she went through a really, really tough period and a very emotional period and a lot of trauma that came with that. But her story wasn't over yet. That was just a chapter in her life. And look at her flourish now. Look at her give back now. She had some amazing chapters still in front of her, and she still does. And that's available for all of us as well, no matter what we're going through. So be encouraged that your story is not over yet. You are a blessing. You matter. You are worthy. Until next time, take care.